Hello, in this video, I'll explain how I was able to land my dream job to work on Bitcoin full-time. I'll share my journey, experiences, and some of the key insights I learned along the way. So, over the past year, I've been working full-time as an independent software developer working on Bitcoin Cash. And as you can see from my developer profile, I've made over 1,000 code contributions in the past year. And my two main projects are Cashio and Cashio. So I'll explain how I was able to get paid to work on Bitcoin Cash software full-time. Cashio is a software library for other Bitcoin Cash developers to use to develop smart contracts. It's a project started by someone else and I got to join the team. And Cashio is my own project. It's a Bitcoin Cash wallet that I started roughly 1 year ago. So I'll quickly show it. This is Cashio. So if you go to cashio.com, this is my wallet project that I started. And both of these projects are free and open source software. So that simply means if you click either of these projects, you'll be taken to the code repository where you can just inspect all the code and see how it works. And Cashio as an application is also free for users. So what is the business model for this? How can you monetize to work on something that's free and open source? That's what I'll explain in a bit. But when I started off working on Cashio, it wasn't paid work. So I started working on this as a hobby project on something that I wanted to monetize, but I knew that I first had to prove that I had the technical skills and that I had a user base. So for Cashio, this meant that I wanted to add unique features that no other Bitcoin Cash wallets had. And in my case, the timing was good, so I could be the first wallet to add support for cash tokens, a recent upgrade to Bitcoin Cash. So if you take a look at my tokens, you see there's a list of tokens and NFTs that you can send and receive. So this was the first wallet to support this feature. And Cashio was also the first Bitcoin Cash wallet to support Wallet Connect. So you can connect your wallet to a Bitcoin Cash application and then make a specialized transaction specific for that application. So with these two features, I had found my niche or the use case for which users would use my wallets above the existing ones. And because of this, I was able to build my user base. So if you take a look at the stats, this is a plausible analytics. So it keeps some basic website stats. And here you can see for Cashio, my main project, I get over 100 unique daily active users, sometimes up to 160 unique daily active users. So this is just a metric to show that there's actual interest and organic use of the projects, whereas some of the other applications I made barely get any visitors. So it's not easy to make an application that people actually want to use. So what enabled me to work on Cashio full-time is crowdfunding. We have something in Bitcoin Cash similar to Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a well-known platform for crowdfunding where people can make a campaign to raise a specific amount of money. And then users can come in and pledge towards this goal. And if this goal is reached, then the money is raised to develop the specific product ID, like a game or a comic, something like that. So in Bitcoin Cash, we have something similar. It's called Flipstarter. So for Cashio, I launched a Flipstarter campaign. And this works a bit different to Kickstarter because Flipstarter is not a platform where you need to make an account. Instead, it's multiple people adding an input to one transaction. So there's no platform at all. It is just a website hosted where people contribute to with a special wallet plugin. So it's non-custodial, which makes it a bit more interesting. And as you can see, back in November, I launched a Flipstarter campaign for 80 BCH, and I wrote up a whole proposal with my future vision for Cashio, what I wanted to achieve if I got this funding. So I wanted to add a bunch of new features, some improvements and optimizations, a complete code rewrite, as well as develop a mobile wallet. So that is the goal I set out. And because I already had some good active users and I knew that there was interest in growing this project, I was quite confident that I would be able to achieve this fundraising goal. And 23 contributors helped me actually realize this vision, so I'm very grateful for them. As you can see, the 5 biggest contributors raised the bulk of this amount with a long tail of smaller pledges. So I'm very grateful for everyone that has contributed, because this is what allows me to work on Cashionise full time. It's this crowdfunding campaign with a long list of contributors, which agreed with the vision that I had for Cashionise. So how was I able to get here to actually get crowdfunding to work on Bitcoin Cash software when I don't have any background in computer science? My background is actually in economics, so I have my master's of economics. This is not an accident. It was a deliberate goal to get my dream job to work on Bitcoin full time. So how I transitioned to software development from my background to economics was with online learning resources. So this tweet from 2021 says, next year I'll have my master's in economics and I want to journey into coding professionally. And then it shared my progress on the course on Codecademy Pro. So I got myself a subscription, and this was called a career path. So it was a multi-month course, so quite intense, where you not only learned how to make websites, but also how to spin up servers, so you can really make an application from start to finish. And I remember that I was very nervous to share this progress update. So I was 40% of the way in, because I set out to go into coding professionally, which was quite a change from my background in economics. And some people said to me that it would be unrealistic, or that it would not be smart to try and get a job in crypto. But I'm very glad that I persisted. And even though it was like uncertain at the time, looking back, I'm very glad that I put in the effort outside of my university studies, so I could have the job that I really dreamt about. And this is also an encouragement to you to really chase after your dreams and to not let anyone tell you to do otherwise. So this is how I started, but it's not from the first attempt that I was successful at learning how to code. Years earlier, in 2019, I also took up some coding courses, but then after learning some things, I just gave up, or didn't find the motivation to keep going, or didn't learn the right things to really start making projects. So it's actually a few failed attempts after it actually succeeded towards the end of my master's. So I also think it helped that I had a clear deadline to when I wanted to transition into coding. So it was a bit all or nothing. And when I got my master's, I didn't immediately start on my own projects. What I did is I got an interim position to work at General Protocols, a company that works on Bitcoin Cash. They work with Bitcoin Cash smart contracts. So General Protocols really is one of a kind. And here I learned a lot, because then you're suddenly in a company setting, no longer making just a demo projects just for learning on a course, but you actually work with real software engineers who have much more experience, and you learn in a company setting, so with code that is actually used. And here I got to meet some people who I still have contact with. So John Neary is the president, but also a bunch of the other people I got to work with. And for example, Roscoe Callis is the person who I'm now doing development on CashCrypt with. So this work at General Protocols, this interim position for 2 months, really taught me a lot. So this was kind of having my foot in the door. I got to have some connections, got to have some experience in a real company. And then afterwards, I started with building out my own projects and with joining the CashCrypt team through the connections that I had at General Protocols. So that's kind of my overview of my journey, how I landed a full-time independent job at working on Bitcoin. I hope this inspires some of you. Of course, each person's path is unique, but I think this is definitely an encouragement that you should just follow your dreams, even if other people don't think it's realistic, or even if they think you should do something else. It's your life, and you should follow your own dreams. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.